One of the most recognizable illustrators of all time has gotta be Al Hirschfeld, and he still managed to play a game with his audience for nearly his whole career. And I want to show you one of my favorite works he ever did. I'm Will from the Theater Lovers. I'm a theater content creator and historian. This is Dot, and this is the Theater Lore. Al Hirschfeld was most famously an illustrator for the New York Times, but his work appeared everywhere. And from his first published caricature in 1925 to his death in 2003, he saw more 20th century performances than probably anybody else. He drew George Gershwin in the 30s, and then drew the cast of Sex and the City. He drew an album cover for Aerosmith that almost broke up the band because all of the members were fighting over who could keep the original, so he had to make copies for everybody. Name a famous performer from the 20th century, Hirschfeld's probably drawn them. Ringo Starr, Greta Garbo, Prince, Louis Armstrong, Carol Channing. He drew everybody. And he captures movement particularly well, which is why his work does so well in print like in newspapers. With these sweeping lines, you get a sense of what Mary Martin was like in Peter Pan. I wasn't alive for that, but I feel like I've seen it. During theater performances, he would keep a pen and pad in his pocket so he could draw in the dark, just little sketches so he could remember stuff for later. And he did dozens of theater posters and album covers for iconic shows like My Fair Lady, Man of La Mancha, Kismet, Fade Out, Fade In, the revival of Hello Dolly, Where's Charlie? Look at how Ray Bolger pops out of this poster right to the viewer. When his art was on the poster for a Broadway show, audiences said that looks like a hit. And so on top of these already brilliant drawings, Hirschfeld began to play a game with his viewers. After his daughter Nina was born in 1945, he began to hide her name in his works. It's a secret in plain sight. Check out sleeves and curtains and hair, folds in fabric. It's so delightful and so sweet. It became so second nature to him that he'd often forget where he hid them, so he'd have to go through after a drawing was done and count and find all of them. Once people got really into the game, he had to start putting a number next to his signature, so people knew how many Ninas were in each drawing, to know when they could stop. Though my favorite Nina is this one. It's an actual caricature of the real Nina Hirschfeld, and instead of hiding her name, she's front and center. The names that are hidden, though, are the names of her parents, Al and Dolly. Hirschfeld is the only illustrator to have a Broadway theater named after him, and it's so well deserved. We know how a lot of Broadway shows looked because of photos, but because of Hirschfeld, we'll always know how they felt. What does Al Hirschfeld say when he forgets what to say next? He calls for line, Dot. You get it? I also love this one of Hirschfeld and New York Times theater critic Brooks Atkinson running out of the theater to meet their deadline. People still clapping, people still bowing, they're Russian.